have a discussion about self-leadership. Let me show you what we're going to be Miss Becky's going to be leading it because she is our licensed intern mental health professional. And let me show you the book we're going to talk out of. It is called The Body Keeps the Score. Woo-woo! If you've ever read this, why don't you give us a thumbs up or something, or just type in the chat that you've read this before or I've seen this before, because Miss Becky's the one who turned me on to this, and she's the one who's going to be discussing it. So Becky, do you want to go ahead and say anything?
Good morning, guys. My name is Becky Scales. I am a marriage and family therapist intern with the state of Nevada. I specialize in couples and women and trauma. So The Body Keeps the Score is one of the books that I actually give as homework to my clients when they've had significant trauma in their history.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And then, one of the things I found interesting in that book is that they said people who have chronic disease, there's a link between that. They have like the same issues going on as people who experience trauma.
Yes, the research shows that the trauma impacts, and that's why it says the body keeps the scores, because when we've talked about this in the last couple of months, is that trauma is held, it's like a kinetic energy inside of our body. So if we don't know how to release it through mindfulness and other tools, then our body holds on to it. So intellectually, we may believe like, oh, I dealt with that in the past, but my body's still holding on to it, which is why you still have some physiological reactions when like a loud noise happens behind you. That is an indicator that your body is still holding on to a traumatic event.
Yeah. And so one of the ways that we can release stress is exercise.
Exercise is a tool.
Exercise is a tool, and that's one of the tools.
Being outside too is another tool.
Okay. Mother Nature and just letting the breath of the air hit us. So that's, we're going to hit record on this. If you keep your cameras off, if you don't want to be seen, that's completely fine. And then we are going to go ahead and get started with a warm-up. So why don't you hit that start button, and you're going to see a countdown in your screen. It's going to go over what sets we're doing, the minutes that we're doing this with, and we're going to go ahead and get started in a couple seconds. And hopefully you hear that countdown, and let's go. We're going to start with just bending forward and reaching for the ground. We're going to stretch our lower back. Oh, that feels so good. Sometimes I feel like my tension is kept in my back area now. Yeah, it's not a fun thing. Next, we're going to do our right neck stretch. Just go gently. Go to the right, drop that neck down to the shoulder. Oh, thank you. I can see. And next, we're going to go to the left side. Drop that neck down, gently pull. These are just nice, quick stretches you can do at home when we're not talking.
I feel like my tension is usually in my neck and shoulders. That's where mine is primarily.
Really?
Most, yeah.
All right. Next, we're going to do shoulder shrugs. Go ahead and just shrug those shoulders up. Hey. So Becky, when you think about what we're getting ready to talk about, not talk to, what do you think is like the number one thing people should start with after we do shoulder rolls, just so back? What do you think people should be focusing on?
What I liked that you picked out, that since you just started reading the book, is that self-leadership. There's so many places for us to understand what's going on with our emotions. I love that you picked out that all of our emotions are necessary. It is when, and if any of you have seen Inside Out 1 and 2, we'll do the next.
Next is butterflies. We're going to go ahead and take a seat, and butterflies look like this. I guess we should let's get through this stretching part. And then we'll talk about that. Just get that thing, get going. All right, we're going to rest. And why don't you finish your conversation?
So with the Inside Out movie, I think it's a Pixar movie. When any one of the emotions takes the motherboard, then it takes over. At the end of it on Inside Out 2, the realization was that they're all necessary.
Okay. Next, hold on your shoulder or put your hands out and do hamstring curls. Just like this. Yeah. If you have a partner, go ahead and do that. Yeah, I watched Inside Out, and I always I didn't understand that it was a theory in psychology.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought it was a cute movie, right? But each emotion has a part to play.
Mm-hmm.
And it like displays that and talks about that in a lovely way. Next, we're gonna do our right leg. So what do you think about, have you watched the second one?
I have. I've watched both of them, and it's another,
Switch.
even for my adult clients, I tell them to watch it as
Really?
well, because there's some, like you were talking about, there's different parts of us, and before any traumatic events happen,
Uh-huh.
there is like the book talks about, there's a confident, healthy piece of us inside of us, and then the traumatic event happens, and then we end up with some protective parts of us. But then the world tells us, you're too aggressive, or you're too guarded, or whatever the world tells us. So then you believe that, and you take that on as if that's your whole identity. Internal family system says that we have parts of us. There is a protective part of us, and it helps to build safety.
All right. Next, after this, we're going to do front punches. You put those arms up and you go to the front, and then we're going to do overhead punches right after that. Yeah, one part of the book I found interesting is that, go ahead and start off for those front punches. Let's go. One part I found interesting was that there's like 3 parts to that safety net.
Mm-hmm.
There is the manager, and the manager is like the kick-ass bossy person.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the firefighters, and I imagine the firefighters coming out when they're like the ones that numb you to whatever's going on, and they protect you that way by kind of either doing something like what they say, video gaming all the time.
Yeah.
That could be something that happens too. And then the exile, I didn't quite understand the exile. Can you explain that?
So I'd have to read the part, but what I'm coming up with in the exile part is that place where we disassociate when we can't, when we told ourselves we cannot handle the situation that is happening in the moment, because in the past, so our brain remembers what has taken place, and it's important to know that our body responds first, then our brain goes, hey, what's going on here? And then it dumps adrenaline to get us through the situation. But that happens in our fight, flight, or freeze. So the manager is the fight, right? The firefighter, well, maybe the firefighter is too, but the freeze might be the dissociation, and the exile one, I'd have to read it again, but what's important to know about the firefighter one is that when your body dumps the adrenaline, it helps you get through a situation.
Okay.
But as a child, if you froze, you may be more prone to freezing in a heavy situation.
In 1 second, we're doing jumping jacks. If you can do full-blown jumping jacks, go ahead. If you need to do side jumping jacks, just step to the side. Okay. So do you use this type of therapy with your clients much?
Yeah, what I love about the parts system is just embracing that each of us have different parts of us. We have a gentle, kind spirit. We have an aggressive one. And if you've dealt with something where somebody took advantage of you in whatever kind of way, so you have a protective part. You have a generous part. You may have there's so many different parts in who we are, but embracing those different parts and allowing them all to come together.
Okay, next we're gonna do jump rope. This one is like you're jumping roping. And, oh, whoops, crunches. Sorry, crunches, sorry. Here we go. We're gonna go ahead and lift that leg up and do crunches. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen and, not seeing any hand talking. So go ahead and do crunches. Becky's doing a modified version, that's twist crunch, or you can just do regular crunch. Okay. So yeah, I really liked it. They told some really good stories in there too.
I wanted to read something too, because
get that, because we're going to get ready to go to a little break and get ready for our next round of exercises. And we got 15 seconds, and then we're going to start with right leg clam lift, and that one we're going to do sitting. So why don't we go ahead and take a seat, Becky, and you can read it while we're doing the clam lift.
Okay.
Let me show you what that looks like. Put one arm up, Lift up that leg. And if you want to read, people can watch me and you can read.
Okay. Um, one of the things that I love, and there's so much in this book, by the way, but this one you highlighted, and it says, as we see in chapter 13, a central task for recovery from trauma is to learn to live with the memories of the past without being overwhelmed by them in the present. And it really, what they're talking about is just as much as we need to revisit the traumatic memories in order to integrate them, we need to revisit the parts of ourselves that developed the defensive habits that helped us to survive.
Okay, 1 second, other side, left leg. That is so true.
Yeah. And what it is like just appreciating that the adaptive child in you had to do something in a specific event, or um, it doesn't matter what age you were when it happened, but that part of you in that traumatic event did what it needed to do to survive in the moment. But we want to embrace it, and instead we create negative coping mechanisms around them because we don't know what it is.
Right. We were talking about how I'm an introvert yesterday. And I believe that's one of my coping mechanisms. And we're going to talk a little bit more, but now we're going to stand up and we're going to get ready for our next one, which is speed bags. We're going to do speed bags. And then I believe the next one is chest press. So one of my coping mechanisms, and I'm just going to share and be vulnerable on here. Once we do speed bags, I am. Go ahead. My vulnerable mechanisms is staying to myself, because I think it has to stem from when I was in gymnastics and they were cruel.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. If you're a child, please disregard that. I'm so sorry. Anyway, they were cruel.
Your memory came up.
My memory came up hard. They were so mean. And so one of the things I find myself doing is staying to myself, because I find that that's safer than being in group situations. All right. So I believe that's one of my coping mechanisms. And we'll discuss, we're doing T-twists. This one, you flip your arms up and twist to the side. And sometimes I do have to talk to I do a lot of self-talk. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the self-talk things I do is I tell myself that was then, this is now, though the people that I'm around are not those girls, and that people can be safe, so why not give them a try? And if they aren't safe, then I know that. And I can, oops, sorry, I can let it go.
So I want to highlight something that you just said, is that you're taking a negative situation that happened in the past, and you're trying to put a positive cognition or positive thought around it, which is a step and a tool. However, I love that you also just pointed out, if the people are not safe, so what? It is about them, not about me.
That's right. Now,
go ahead.
Real quick, we're doing jumping jacks next. This one is either step to the side, or you can do full-blown jumping jacks for 45 seconds. And I'm sorry, Becky, go ahead and continue.
Yeah, the most important part about this whole thing is that not to just take like, gosh, this was something bad that happened to me, and put a positive spin on it. It's more about, hey, when people aren't safe, how am I internalizing it and personalizing it? And so back then, your teenage brain said, oh, they're not safe, and I'm going to withdraw and become into myself so that I cannot be hurt, which is a safety mechanism, which, by the way, does help in some moments, even as an adult.
Yes, crunches in our necks. I liked how one of the things they did in the book, oh my God,
I know,
I'm sorry, so I'm out of breath. If you need to take a breath, go ahead and take a rest. This is a quick moving exercise. Anyway, one of the things they discussed in the book was when you feel a certain emotion, you don't put it on yourself.
Yes.
So they use the language of hate. You know, sometimes you say, ooh, I hate such and I hate someone, or I hate something. You aren't hate. Instead, they reframe that to say, what was it?
Oh,
At the moment, I feel hate.
yes, yes. In the moment instead of taking on the I am statement. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
love
love
that.
that. Next, we're gonna take a seat. Put that right leg out.
I wanted
Lift it up and do leg circles.
to read something else, so let me know.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, oh gosh, let me find it really quick. Oh, all facets of ourselves need to be attended to. And this is on the self-leadership. I don't want to get out of today without talking about self-leadership, because it is a way of taking all the different parts of you and owning who you are and allowing them to be who they are. The internal leader must wisely distribute the available resources and supply a vision for the whole that takes all the parts into account.
Okay,
Mhm.
left leg now. So explain that.
So it's understanding that I have a protective part. It's understanding that I have like all the different parts of the protective part that you called the manager.
Mhm.
They all get us through and move us into the bigger vision. But if you don't have a vision for yourself on where I'm going or what I'm doing, you stay stuck in oh, people don't like me. Or people are jealous of me, so and I'm my methodology is narrative therapy for
Oh.
individual therapy. So
Uh-huh.
what we tell ourselves, whether it's true or not, is true.
Oh.
So it's learning how to integrate all the different parts of yourself and telling yourself a story that is going to serve you.
Oh, okay. So what do you call it? Methods therapy?
Oh, narrative.
Narrative therapy. Next, we're gonna do chest squeeze. Put your hands together like you're in a prayer and squeeze them together and work that chest muscle. Narrative therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a particular, like, is it tied to IFS or is it something
No,
different?
it's a different. IFS is just a different methodology. Narrative, and my narrative is under cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's around how the brain functions.
Oh,
So IFS is just a different portion of it.
okay. So do you bounce between both when you're in
Oh,
therapy?
yes.
Yeah.
I do a mixed bag of things, but I stay grounded in narrative.
Okay. I love that. Because next, guys, we're going to go ahead and do the row. Put those arms out, pull them in, and squeeze those shoulder blades together. Okay. So in the book, he had a story about a doctor who was a narcissist and getting ready to get a divorce because he was terrible to people.
Mm-hmm.
But he never saw it.
Mm-hmm.
He thought he was like doing great, and
Mm-hmm.
he thought he was just the bee's knees, and him being a certain way towards people was just how it was going to be. But his wife was fed up with it. She was like, "You are so mean.
Mm-hmm.
You criticize me. You make me feel like I'm nothing."
Mm-hmm.
And as they got into it, they found out that it came from his childhood and how his parents were towards him,
Mm-hmm.
and then just how that played into his relationship.
Yeah.
And it was really sad. They conquered it, but one of the things they did is they had to go back all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just a one and done. Next is jumping jacks. I mean jumping rope, jump rope. Hey, it was never a one and done
Right.
situation.
Mm-mm.
It is a continuing thing that you have to keep doing.
So what's interesting about that is that our brain records memories like and depending on how old we all are, like an old-fashioned typewriter. Whenever you hit a key, it was on there permanently. Even if you went and erased and struck it out, you could still see it in the backdrop. So our
Uh-huh.
brain is the same way. You have to
Oh.
overwrite
Uh-huh.
the narrative in order to not see what was underneath it. So keep going back is like, okay, this behavior is coming up because here's a lot. I love that you brought up the narcissist.
Crunchy.
I wait.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of trending hot button words about narcissism, but people can change. They have to understand what the protective measure was, how they use that as a coping mechanism, being able to call it out, and going back and rewriting the narrative that was told to them, because it's a subconscious thing now. as we're older.
Uh-huh.
But if you go back to where it started, then you can build up on it. But you have to build up on that story to say that was a coping mechanism and that kept you safe.
It's kind of hard to identify though where it started.
Sometimes, because if you feel like your family was normal,
Uh-huh. Rest.
which we all do, even in an abusive family
We're gonna
system,
take this. Go ahead.
even in an abusive family system, how do you?
I lied.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we're gonna do abductors. We're gonna put our right leg out and bring it out and up, in, take it down, up, out, front, down. Okay, I'm sorry, Becky.
No, it's
Go ahead with that because we're doing our left leg next, guys.
That if you thought your family system was normal,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't know that there was any. You may have been like, well, yeah, my mom got, my dad beat my mom, but it got normalized. So whatever happened, you don't even know that it's not normal until you go to somebody else's household and see that, oh gosh, that my parents don't do that, or so you have, if you can't identify it, it's like just trying to go back as far as you can remember, but also just calling out the behavior. Oftentimes we want to categorize people, you're a narcissist, versus you have some narcissistic tendencies, or that's a narcissistic behavior. Any behavior that we don't like is a behavior. It is not who I am. It is something that I developed to manage what happened, whatever in the past.
It's a different way of thinking and a different way of talking.
Yes.
And it takes practice.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not going to happen overnight that you think I don't know. Sorry. Anyway, it's not going to happen overnight where you just automatically start understanding these processes. It takes just time, and we have to be gentle with ourselves and then patient with ourselves as well.
Yeah.
So,
and you want a partner who's going to say, hey, right now, you talk about the experience.
jumping jacks are next.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
The experience, like, let's just say, like you were talking about the husband and the wife, the wife has to say something. Say, hey, this, you're being really mean right now, and that's how I'm receiving it. Is that what you intend? So that the husband can then get in full focus. Oh gosh, okay, I have to own it.
Okay.
That's the difference between being able to build into a healthy, secure relationship versus what happened. Because I'm sure previously he probably was mean to her in the beginning and she cowered, and that cowering allows the behavior to continue.
So, what happens though if someone's passive? If you're passive, like how do they and they're with a narcissist, like, or someone who has narcissistic tendencies.
There you go. Or
Ooh,
behavior
I used
traits.
the language.
Yes, yeah. Well, first of all, both people need to be in individual therapy, because a passive person, even in couples therapy, won't use their voice. I see that happen a lot with my couples, that there's one partner that won't express, like, that really bothers me. And so you have to be in individual therapy so that you can learn how to have your voice to say, you are, or I'm feeling this right now, and I don't appreciate the way you're talking to me right now, and learn how to rewire even those encounters.
Wow. All right. Next, we are going to go into our stretching, guys, because this was a quick pace workout. So great job. Great job for listening and keeping up. And now we're going to go ahead and do a right arm cross stretch. So go ahead and put that arm across your chest. Okay.
Most people, here's what I believe, and I truly believe, no one wakes up. Yeah, we're switching arms.
Oh, switch arms.
No one wakes up thinking, I hope that my life looks like crap today, and I'm going to treat everybody around me like crap today. No one wakes up. I don't believe anybody wakes up like that. Everybody wants to do their best.
Hamstring stretch, put that leg in front, put that heel down and toes up, and just lean into the hamstring stretch. Wow.
So your automatic self, the subconscious, is what's driving you. And so sometimes I have been told, given feedback, that I come across very direct and mean, And in my heart, I'm like, gosh, that's not even what I intended.
Uh-huh.
But if no one gives me the information, I can't even change or or repair that conversation in the moment.
Okay, that's cool. Next is our right, like we're gonna roll our neck to the right. So that's why it's so important. You said something in passing the other day where you were like, that's why I talk out loud. Next, go to the other side. And I loved that because it seemed like you found a solution when you did that. And that's why it's so important to communicate.
Yes.
But it is a matter of learning how to communicate
Yes.
with each other.
And giving each other the goodwill. Like I have to believe that your intention with me is good, or you're going to say something, I'm going to get offended, and then I'm going to hold on to the offense, and then it's going to sit in me, and then you're going to say something later, and then I'm going to get mad. And instead of just saying, Norma, when you said that to me, it felt really harsh. Is that what you meant?
Mhm.
And then you could be like, gosh, no. Right. And then I can rethink about how that interaction went down. And then the next time I'm going to be like, oh, I know she didn't mean that.
Yeah.
And that's giving people information so that you know how to interact with each other, and giving that that being well intended for the other person.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us for this talk, Becky. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
Your information and always showing up. We
Yes.
appreciate it. And you guys, thank you for showing up. We have our next one. We have these the first Saturday of the month, unless it's a holiday.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that caveat in there. If it's a holiday, we're not having it. So, but please join us again in September, October. And we just appreciate you being here. Have a lovely rest of the day. You got your workout in, and you got to learn about IFS, which stands for
Internal Family System.
Thank you. All right. Have a great day, everyone.
Right.
Bye.
Enjoy.